Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Alexey Ognev. I'm CEO DigiU ecosystem, and today we are going to discuss the latest events. Basically about the EYWA projects. We have great developments and great achievements in this direction. And also we had a visit to India. We had different talks with companies, business companies, and so on. And just we will talk about this in our further webinars, and in some days I'm going to the same trip to Vietnam. So I see how project is presented in these countries, how partners understand the project. We make new contacts with technological companies. And our trips are very interesting and very fruitful. And these projects are also oriented to the work of our venture fund. So the first project that was invested by our venture fund was EYWA project. And the success of these projects influenced the capitalization of our ecosystem. And that's why we are going to talk about it with Director for Strategic Development, CSPO, Alexander E. So welcome, Alexander. Tell us please about the latest news, the events in the EYWA project during April. Good afternoon. Hello, dear investors. Hello, Alexei. First of all, I want to apologize for the image, for the quality of video. It was the maximum light I could do. So today we had to have a light like bloggers, you see. But still, as it is. Let's begin. Speaking about EYWA, you have read some posts about EYWA projects in the DigiU channel. We have told you about the plans for the nearest future. And finally, it is the month which was long awaited, because EYWA is to be launched on the commercial mainnet. It's a big, difficult infrastructure project, and many difficulties we faced. And it was our first time, and we had nobody to have consultation with. But let's talk about that has been already done in this direction. Now in the network there are more than 103 validators. It's this number is more of that of any competitor. And EYWA DEX has already been realized, its functions have already been launched. It is the second biggest decentralized exchange after Uniswap. Now we are waiting for audits. Firstly, we waited for the 15th May, but now we are mostly oriented for the 17th of May. We promised that on the 17th of May we will get the affirmation that our code is safe, and our cross-chain exchange will be launched on the 17th of May. It will be $200,000, the initial liquidity. And we will propose to any developer around the world to test our platform, and if they are able to see any vulnerability in our system, we will pay him a reward. Because in the future it will be hundreds millions, billions dollars, like Curve, for example. That's why we pay a lot of attention to safety measures. Now we are transferring our protocol governance to so-called multi-sig. It means that you can press any buttons yourself and do not have to agree on it with anyone. And in case of any transactions and so on, it should be agreed with at least 5 out of 7 players, including Curve and so on. So it's great because like Curve helps you to govern the project, govern the protocol. Another protocol governance tools are with a Smart State company. They have also audited the code and can govern the protocol. And they are sure they are doing, and they have done. And besides, there are two another big established projects. So the consensus number will be 5 companies out of 7. So it means that 5 people should agree on the transaction to allow it. That's why it prevents any team from doing something illegal or something like that, and it increases the trust into our company. And then the protocol governance will be transferred to multi-sig. It will be like a true project, like big established projects. We do something like them. So after the 17th of May, we will begin quite small but quite intensive promotion of the projects in the world's mass media, including Forbes, some Chinese mass media, big bloggers which are really into DeFi, not only from the Commonwealth of Independent States, but from other countries as well. And as the White Hacker program finishes, so this liquidity will grow. And by the end of May, early June, we will have much more liquidity in the protocol. It will be quite huge sums of money, and it will be a large-scale program to attract liquidity. So anyone who wants to support the project will be able to provide liquidity. And so we are going to finish all these events by the 7th of June, and investment round A will be opened by that date. Now we are closing private rounds investments and preparing for the next investment round with one of the major exchanges, which cooperates with different funds around the world from Hong Kong, Singapore. So recently I have been to Hong Kong on some festivals, and now we're conducting a productive and productive dialogue, they are interested in our development. And after that, this round will be closed, and further EYWA will declare the start of the next investment round, which is usually called A, based upon economic indicators, because we can't see still the number of users and so on. We have not been still launched. But our valuation was $20 million. So the capitalization of project has increased by 3 times. We have some technical difficulties. Yeah, the poor connection. We can't hear Alexander E. Poor connection. Well, we have some difficulties in connecting Alexander E. That's why please understand it. Alexander E. Has been speaking about so serious things. We'll wait for him to reconnect. But let's summarize. So the project is fast developing, is one of the leaders of the market, and the EYWA technology is integrated into some projects. So it means a great success for both the venture funds and the project EYWA itself. So it is what's probably the second question I wanted to pose to Alexander. We're waiting for him. Alexander, are you here? Can you hear us? Alexander?
Вот, собственно, давайте. 2 года назад, да, практически мы инвестировали в проект по оценке $20 миллионов.
So, 2 years ago we invested into a project with valuation of $20 million, and now it's about $60 million, so it has increased by 3 times. We're waiting for Alexander to join us. Yeah, colleagues, can you hear me well? Yeah, if you want to add something about EYWA's plans for the nearest future. So you have been speaking about the increase in valuation of the project. Yeah, it has increased by 3 times. So investment round A will be opened with even more valuation than $60 million. We will provide for our users not just tokens, but participation in so-called equity. And we are thinking of Hong Kong as a possible jurisdiction for that. Because in Hong Kong we have a very fast legalization of cryptocurrencies, and thus since June we will have some recommendations from banks and continue developing in this direction. We see that it's quite a big market, and probably we will develop there. And speaking about other decisions made during this period, then recently we have decided to to have different dates for tokens and for launching on the exchange. So I rarely make any predictions, but based on our calculations, after public investment rounds, our token value will increase to 40 cents. So it means 40 times more than the initial value of shares, which is 2 cents. So the capitalization of the project will be $400 million. It's difficult to predict it because it's market and it's difficult. There are different factors which influence this. It depends on the number of integrations, on the speed of promotion of the project. But I will repeat that we rarely predict something, but based upon initial calculations, we will be close to that number. Further, probably there will be some back-forward movements, but still we continue development and are going to become a unicorn. And we make every possible effort to become a unicorn. Well, it's great to hear such news and see such impressive development. Yeah, once again, poor connection. Can you hear us, Alexander? Alexander, I think you can switch off your video so as to establish a good connection. Well, that's a live translation. Everything can happen. Well, Alexander will join us once again and continue his thought. Well, I could have this webinar, could conduct this webinar myself, but so I wanted to hear the plans and the developments of the EYWA project. That's why I invited Alexander to participate. Because he can highlight something better than myself, than me. Because he was involved into this project himself, so that's why he has probably better understanding of things. So we're waiting. Alexander? Yeah, let's go without video. Well, that's it. Another question? Another question is about our venture capital fund. So speaking about our venture capital fund, can we consider an investment made by venture capital funds into EYWA already successful? Yeah, sure, we can consider such an investment successful. Because first of all, we are sure that EYWA will be surely launched on the commercial mainnet, because we have tested everything already. So it's like a usual market situation when firstly you enter into the project by one valuation, then the valuation rises and new investors come to projects by another valuation. So yeah, we have these shares by the price proposed by DigiU Wealth venture capital funds, but if we want, we can sell them by a more expensive price. And moreover, such success makes us more well respected and it increases our authority in the market. So we have a quite easy dialogue with companies around the world, and they do communicate with us. They consult the project, they accelerate the project. So that's why when we have some interesting projects, we will do the same thing. We will present those projects to our partners and so on. I have already said that venture capital funds community is quite small, everyone knows each other. That's why those funds which invest into some big, serious, established projects, they are well respected. That's why we should invest into some established projects. For example, it is company Binary X. It has already been launched and it is fast developing. It has quite high demand on the market. And now we are in dialogue with another project from cryptocurrency markets, artificial intelligence sphere. We have some issues how to prepare this deal within our venture capital funds. And this company is registered in the United States. That's why there are some legal issues how to make a deal in a safe way for all the parties concerned, given all the events happening in the world now. So now we are consulting with lawyers, and as soon as we have some ready solutions, we will tell you more about this project. We will name this project. But we see some prospects in this project to invest into it.
Сделки, значит, да, уже какие-то основные моменты пройдены, осталось понять.
Yeah, we're going to conclude the deal. That's why the lion's share of the work has been already done. That's why there are just some issues to cover, some to make it safer, to make it legal, and so on. Yeah, I have another question. How do successes of those projects in which we invest as a venture capital fund influence the capitalization of the company and the price of our securities? Yeah, sure. Let's have some easy examples. So the valuation of the project has increased by 3 times since the time DigiU invested into it. So that's why the capitalization of DigiU has already increased by 3 times. And now, as it is a phase of active growth, of active development, and given the partnership we have curve and so on. Nowadays there are more than 40 partnerships, and there is already a queue to make partnership with us. That's why the project is likely to develop further. And it should be taken into account. It means that an investor of a venture capital fund
выбирает проект, у него есть свой функционал. То есть он находит проекты, то есть есть воронка проектов на входе.
Chooses some projects. At first he searches the projects, then he conducts some dialogue, talks with these projects. Such decisions are not made in just one time. So, for example, EYWA was integrated within DigiU. That's why it was easy to understand the ideas of the project. But speaking about binary X, so we have been following the project for 8 months before concluding a deal. Yeah, and another project we have followed it for 8 months already as well. So we look at the development of the projects, at the work of the team of the projects, whether they achieve their results, whether they cope with their work at the international level. If there are any difficulties, or the team, for example, surrenders, or finds new investors, new partners. So that's why any investor that has invested into such a process governs this process. As a venture fund, we act as smart money. We help projects as much as we can. Now we have a network of contacts, of many contacts, and we try to help them all. And being an investor, we're interested in investing into a project in the initial phase. So we try to help to encourage projects without saying you are bad, you have broken deadlines and so on. So by saying you are bad at doing it, so nothing will change. That's why we try to help different projects. Any investor of venture capital funds, if a project is launched on the market and develops, it means that the investments of this investor also grow. And these investments are long-lasting for a long period of time and not so liquid. They are venture investments, so that's why the horizon of planning is far more than in other things, in other markets. For example, some capital funds have this horizon of 10 years. We have this horizon of planning of 5-7 years. Well, if we have to summarize all the above, so the easiest way to make profit is when the capitalization of the company increases, indicators also increase. Well, and where venture capital funds yield these profits, at what moment, because this process is quite long. Well, there are several ways to yield profit. If the project has already generated profit for some time, so by being a shareholder, you can yield profit from the shares of this project. Their price also increases. But everything depends on the market. If the whole market declines, is on decline, then the price is also on decline. The second way
капитализации,
is the growth in capitalization
продажа
and
своей доли по более
further selling our share
например, какие-то
by a
более
more
крупные
expensive price.
стратегические инвесторы с большими чеками, из другой уже оценки.
So if there are big investors with a big valuation, so they can buy this share at a more expensive price. For sure, it will be a higher valuation than that when this investor invested initially into project. Yeah, and also we look for other ways to yield profit, for example, from validation and from staking. It means that tokens we have, we will send them to staking and also send binary X tokens. They haven't been still blocked, and that's why they will yield profit in staking. That's great. And I appeal to anyone who poses the same questions to themselves, who has not studied this topic yet. Listen to the Alexander's answer once again and read something about the topic. And look to and watch about the horizons of planning, about the ways how a venture capital fund can yield profit. Well, so let's you can watch this answer once again and know the answers to these questions. Well, and speaking about your further strategy, we can roughly imagine it, but still, what are going to do further to increase the number of projects and so on? Well, our strategy is as follows. To act more effectively, we should have more funds. More funds in governance. It means we will be able to develop in two directions. First of all, we want to invest into more projects. It will minimize our and diversify our risks. Because one project can turn up being ineffective, unsuccessful, but another one will be flourishing. And that's the essence of venture funding. But we do not have a goal to invest into everything. Because there are some venture capital funds that invest small sums into thousands of projects. No, that's not our way. We have two spheres in which we invest. First of all, it's Web 3.0 and also artificial intelligence. We have dialogue with main drop capital funds in the United States. They have three directions. So, artificial intelligence, astronautic technologies, and so on. So, we have one coinciding sphere, artificial intelligence, so we we have agreed to exchange experience, expertise, and so on. And concerning Web 3.0, we communicate with other venture capital funds. We also want to find projects of high quality. And we want to follow these projects. We want to help them to develop. And on the basis of our venture funds, our own accelerator will be launched. So it will reflect our own path that we had covered with the EYWA project.
просто бизнес-ангелов, которые уже не один десяток
from just
венчурных
business
инвестиций.
angels who have been in the markets for tens of years.
Проекта была выше. И, соответственно, те проекты, у которых получается, мы видим,
And
что
those
каждый
projects,
раз в неделю или раз в 2 недели связываемся
those
с теми
projects
проектами,
which are
в которые
successful,
инвестировали, мы держим руку на пульсе.
we follow them, we communicate with them every week, every 2 weeks.
Какие успехи у них, какие
We look at their
оказались
successes.
верными, да. И, соответственно, если мы понимаем, что проект нащупывает
And if we understand that a project
гипотезу, и у них получается, становится больше клиентов,
is
мы
developing,
готовы
it
увеличивать инвестиции.
attracts more
Сейчас это,
clients,
конечно,
so we
рекомендовал
increase our investment
DigiU
into this
и нашему
project.
фонду увеличить инвестиции в проект Binary X.
Yeah, probably we can enlarge our investments into the project Binary
Очень
X.
много событий происходит, очень большой интерес со всего мира. Только у меня 3 потенциальных
Because there is huge interest for the activities from all around the world. Personally, I have 3 requests to meet Binary X projects and to integrate their solutions into Binary X
Мы
project.
рассматриваем, ну, то есть, скорее всего, ну, большая часть сделок, там 80% сделок,
Also,
будут сделки ранних стадий. То есть,
also 80% of the deals will be in the initial stage.
стадии pre-seed и seed. Это
At
самые
pre-seed and seed
когда,
stages.
ну, что-то минимально уже сделано, но проект не обязательно еще выпустил продукт на рынок, или не обязательно он на рынке уже
So
нащупал.
the projects can be
Почему так? На этих стадиях можно
can be still out of markets or has not
и
done much in the
повыше
market.
оценки.
But why? Because its valuation is still quite low. That's why there is an opportunity to yield more profits, but still risks are also higher.
Фонда, ну, нужно хотя бы $50 миллионов.
Yes, so to achieve more effective activities of our venture funds, we should have $50 million.
Лигу блокчейн рынка, где мы сейчас, собственно, находимся. То же самое, я думаю, мы пройдем.
But we cover this path step by step, as we have covered it in the EYWA project, and I think we will cover the same way in venture capital funds. And also, in some projects, we will invest in further stages when the companies have already proven their effectiveness. So for sure, profit will be lower, but the volume project, so we should just keep it, and we will invest into existing projects which have proven their effectiveness, which have already had some partnerships with big established investors in both form of shares and in form of tokens. Well, I think everything will be okay, and I share your view. I would like to draw attention that the project is available to organizations, to funds, to professionals, and so on. So there is no man with $100 in this market who can invest in pre-seed, seed stages, and so on. That's why EYWA differs from all that projects, and it's a unique project. So it's our mission that main profit from all modern technologies should be brought to every person. And the sense is that our venture capital funds concludes these deals, and you, as investors, can also be a co-owner of all those projects by buying DigiU shares.
другим партнерам из других стран. И сейчас хочу повторить вот на этом, на
So I would like to highlight this idea once again.
это нужно знать, когда вы продвигаете экосистему,
You should pay attention
решения.
into this thing while you are promoting the project.
В этом месяце у нас на волне вот этих успехов проекта EYWA, на волне
Because this month, due to the success of the EYWA project,
два повышения
venture capital funds and so on,
15, и второе
we are going to have two share price increases.
пакет ценных бумаг, полную оплату или в рассрочку по выгодной цене.
So you can still buy
Максимально
to have a loan or buy the whole package on a profitable price.
можно быстрее.
So do it as soon as possible.
По истечению некоторого времени, да, вот разделять успехи проекта, как вот сейчас, например,
So and in some time you will share the successes of the project,
в 2019 году присоединились
like those who joined the project in 2019 and so on.
рост капитализации, это все
So the
вдохновляет на дальнейшее.
upcoming growth in capitalization of the system and so on, it inspires us.
Может что-то пожелать нашим партнерам коротко, я буду очень рад это услышать.
So that's all I wanted to say.
Да,
If
я
you
снова
want
попробую
to
видео.
wish
Что
something to
что
our
я хочу
partners,
пожелать? Я
Alexander,
хочу
please
пожелать,
wish.
уделять время
Well,
хотя бы чтению каких-то статей.
I would like to wish you to pay more attention and to spend time on reading some news, some information about things which are happening in the world of artificial intelligence. Because every day a lot of projects launch new updates of their projects, and they should not be neglected. And the more you understand this sphere, the more evident benefits provided by the DigiU ecosystem will be to you. That's why we recommend you to buy DigiU shares before the price increase, because according to our valuations, as I have already said, so the valuation of EYWA project after being launched on the commercial mainnet will be already, the price of the token will be already 20-30 cents, which is 10 times more than the price when DigiU venture capital funds invested into it. It was just 2 cents. And that's why the more you will have more EYWA tokens if you buy shares right now. It's a good time to enlarge your portfolio, given this insider information you have got today.
Это прекрасно.
That's great.
Я полностью присоединяюсь к сказанным словам. Хочу
I fully share this position,
периодически проходят такие акции,
and I would like to draw your attention that our ecosystem, there are sometimes some promotions
токенов в дополнение к
in which you can get more tokens in addition to your package.
наверное, уже не в таких объемах, да, но все равно. То есть у каждого есть возможность
So everyone has an opportunity to get more,
владельцам ценных бумаг экосистемы.
to become an owner of DigiU securities.
За сегодняшний вебинар благодарю всех тех, кто
And I thank everyone for this webinar, and see you next time.